Alicia. It is Thursday. Thursdays are nice. I like them. They're the same as Fridays for people who have their weekends begin on Saturdays. Yep, that makes sense. I'm finally going to tell you about Barcelona. Are you excited? I'm excited. It was like over a month ago now, so I was worried that I wouldn't be as remembery as I should. Let me just see if I can. So I took notes today in a Sharpie, and we've got some. There we go. This thing at the top here is an attempt to take notes in the class that I was in, which wasn't a class, it was an interview between my lecturer and some guy who works in Italian TV doing directing and writing, and who has adapted this musical that is on. So, would have been fascinating if I could understand the man, but I couldn't. He had a very thick Genovese accent and spoke really quickly, so I picked up a bunch of words, and that's about it. So these were my notes. Michele Guardi, because that was his name, wrote for Radio Rai in the 70s. I got that much. Also I said Rai instead of Ray, that's what it's called, Ray. In the 70s. So that was good. That's like the first thing he said. I was like, right, I'm on top of this. And then I think I was just filmed adjusting my boob. Hot, you're welcome. Yeah, there was these cameras, like just filming us instead of them. I was like, why are you filming us watching an interview? This is bizarre. So yeah, and then pretty sure these two are super BFF. They're very cute together. Why are there at least two dudes filming us? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And then yeah, I didn't get it. Where's my Sharpie? It's Sharpie Doodle time. And then I got my Sharpie and wrote about my new shoes and the fact that I need to vlog. And then I took notes on Barcelona. So that probably won't make it into the actual cut, but oh well. So on the 27th or 8th of October, I went to Barcelona with a bunch of Americans. We had a flight that was at 6:30 in the morning, which meant we needed to get to the airport at about 5 in the morning, which meant basically that we needed to stay at the airport overnight because it was too hard to get to the airport otherwise. Yep, logic. So we got to the airport and we figured like there'd be things open and stuff, but it's actually a very small airport and everything was just completely shut down. So we had the option of sitting on the little waiting chairs with a bunch of Arabs that were also sitting on the waiting chairs, or to explore. So we went upstairs, which I later discovered had a sign that said offices this way. So we just went up there and were like looking through this really creepy like corridor of yellow doors, and then we found a room that was empty, and it was just an empty room, but the door was open, and so everyone was like, hey, let's sleep in here. And I was like, huh. I felt sort of uncomfortable with it, so I went downstairs and sat on a chair and read a book, one of my textbooks, which I recently learned I don't need to read, so that's good. So that was a fun night, yeah. Then the flight was delayed because there's in France there was this big like issue with striking, and everybody was striking because they wanted to the government wanted to raise the retirement age, so everything was on strike, including the air traffic controllers in Marseille, and we were going to be flying over Marseille, so we weren't allowed to fly over Marseille until they were finished striking. So that's an interesting point. I'm sure you're very interested to hear that. We got to Spain, which was exciting because that's where Barcelona is. Technically it's also in a place called Catalonia, which is a semi-independent region of Spain. And they have their own language in Catalonia called Catalan. And they also speak Spanish, of course, but it's interesting when you're in a country with two official languages. I believe it's the same in Canada, where all the signs are in two languages. So you've got I can't remember the words anymore. I probably could have. Oh, do I? Yes, I do. The words for exit. sortida and salida, and I don't know which one is Spanish and which one's Catalan, but so all the exits said sortida, salida, exit, because they also speak English because everyone speaks English, and because tourists speak English because it's the best language. So yeah, that's a fun tidbit about Barcelona and language. I'm reading off my notes, I'm really cool. First thing I purchased was a mocha because I wanted some Spanish hot chocolate, because that's the thing, right? And I was tired because I hadn't slept. So I thought mocha was a good compromise, and it was good, but I burnt my tongue and that ruined my day. And then I bought a phrase book, which turned out not to be very useful. I should have just bought a dictionary, and a guidebook, which actually turned out to be more of a like picture photo souvenir-y thing. I'll show you it when let me just give it. It's very cool. Ta-da! It says Barcelona because that's what it is, and this is a thing that I go and see. And look at all the pretty pictures, and it's a good book. It's got some useful things, places to go, some maps that aren't very useful at all, but it's okay because we've also got maps. And I like it as a souvenir as well as a useful thing during the time. We made our way to the city centre by train, which is useful, and into the hostel, which was a good hostel, very clean. I was staying in a room that was different to everybody else's because the rooms of like 10 or something, and there were 12 of us, whatever. So I was the only person in my 10-person dorm when I think it was 8 actually, doesn't matter, when I got there, so it was fun. And then an African guy turned up, talked to him for a bit, and then we went out for food, and we went to a restaurant, and we struggled over the menu because it was in Spanish, believe it or not. I remember that I knew the word queso, which means cheese, so that helped. I was looking through my phrase book, looking at the food page, being like, oh, I think that's potato. Interesting thing, tortilla in Spain, at least in Barcelona, is not like a tortilla. It's an omelette. Facts. So that would be a good QI question, actually. It would. I think. It would. I'm gonna tell Stephen Fry. He probably knows. He knows everything. Yeah, we had tapas, of course. We just got a whole bunch of tapas because we were like, Spain! So we had tapas. Went back to the hotel to rest for a bit because we were knackered. And then headed out to the main street where things are exciting. Well, on the way to the metro stop, we passed a Starbucks, which doesn't exist in Italy. They tried to bring Starbucks to Italy, but as you can imagine, Italians were just like, no. So they kicked it out. There's no Starbucks in Italy. At least in Milan there might be one more, but I'll prefer my story. So yeah, so for the Americans, that was like Mecca, and they just like gravitated towards Starbucks and were like, we must purchase our coffee beverages. I didn't purchase anything because we were going out for dinner and I don't like Starbucks. But yes, that was funny. It was an amusing moment for me. In the metro, there's this giant vending machine, like the biggest thing you've ever seen. I just remember that I can put photos in. So here it is. Oh, biggest vending machine in the world. And I get something from it later, but spoiler alert. So I went to La Rambla, where everything happens in La Rambla. It's like it's a huge pedestrian street that goes from the Piazza, I think it's called a Piazza, Piazza Catalunya, straight down to the ocean. So that's cool. And there's there were like street performers and lots of bars and souvenir places and stuff. And there's guys that hang out on the street and look for people who look like they're looking for somewhere to eat, and go, oh, come into our bar, we've got this special. So we went to one of them and had sangria and tapas, more tapas. It was very good tapas. It was all deep fried, looked like this. But was delicious, and we also got free shots that were blue and looked like this. And I might have had 2 of them. And the highlight of that bar was the fact that they were playing music. Interestingly, they had music videos on. And the funny thing about the bar was the fact that they were playing music, as though that's not a thing that bars generally do. It's like, I went to a bar, this one, get this bar played music. Yeah. Unfucking believable. Okay, so they had screens with music videos on them and music playing, but the videos were not showing the music that was actually playing, so that was a funny little thing. But at some point the Macarena comes on. Now the Macarena, you might have noticed, is in Spanish, so we felt quite appropriate for the time. So we noticed that on the other side of the bar a bunch of people were dancing, so we were like, well, let's get in on that. So I can say that after that night I have danced the Macarena with a bunch of tourists and locals in Spain. One of the most purely joyous moments of my lifetime. And then we left that bar and got suckered into another bar by a guy promising more free shots. And these free shots, I don't know if they were pure chocolate milk, but they tasted like pure chocolate milk. And if they were pure chocolate milk, I would not be complaining. Like, generally you presume there's going to be some alcohol in your free shot, but it literally tasted like a very cold, like, frappe chocolate milk. It was fantastic, and we demanded more of them. So we were downing this chocolate milk. It was awesome. I also had a Cosmo. And also downstairs of that bar there were churros, and I was like, churros? I haven't even had those in San churros because they're expensive. So I bought some churros, but the 2 guys making the churros and the crepes were Italians. One of them was from Turin and one was from Milan, and so we actually just stayed there and chatted to them for a while, and I spoke more Italian with these guys in Spain than I have with random Italians in Italy. So they commended me on my Italian, which is good sign. So that was fun, and then we went home. Also there's guys on the street that are holding 6-packs of beer and just like, hey, you want a beer? And people just will happen to go, yes, I will have that beer, and they give me €1 and they get a beer off the street. So good for them.